Or you can roll them up. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, yep. Now pull his head. Welcome to Fight City Gym Talk. You are here with Cade Alcock and Eric Wallin. Cade just went 5-0 this last Saturday in the last jiu-jitsu tournament. That was Grappling Industries. I'm pretty sure it was 5-0. I overheard you might have said it was 6-0.
I think it was 5-0.
5-0.
Hitting the head a little bit.
I can think of 5. I don't want to put 6 because I couldn't remember, but anyway, 5-0. I have footage of one of the submissions he got out of KESA-GATAME. It was just basically a leg Americana. So I want Cade here to show us what he did and how it works. Okay, let's get down. Why don't you do it on here?
Because this arm was up on my hip, that I had the ability to lift his head off the ground, which would prevent his bucking. So I shot my legs first through like this, and pulled the underhook around his head and lifted his head up off of the ground. So right here, this position is causing a lot of pressure, and I have this pulled up here. So if I put my full weight down on Eric here, it's going to be hard for him to breathe. And so earlier in the match, the individual I was going against was a little bit tired, and so I really wanted to push my lat down into his chest and put pressure on him there. So when I was here, he first had his arms basically clasped around his back. So what this does is it not only pulls him up into me, but it also gives me an opportunity to submit this arm here by just digging my arm back like this and pulling up slowly. Now, he could feel this, and so what he instead did is grabbed onto my collar pretty hard right here. And so right here, I knew that there was an opportunity for this arm to be exposed. And so what I did is I was really digging for this, but his grip was tight on the collar. So in order to break this grip, I did what's called the stab submission to kind of loosen up this grip. And I started to push my knuckles into his trachea right here. He loosened this grip ever so slightly, and that gave me the opportunity to push this back here. I lifted my hips up off the ground here, pulled this here, and then similar to an omoplata, I just pushed my hips up there and got the tap.
Now, can I show it a little bit as well? Because I got the video, and I watched the video quite a few times. As I watched the video, I got terrible angle. But what I could see was this hand. And in one of the instances, as this hand broke free, let me have your hand real quick. It's almost as if you went here. And then as he pulls, because there is an arm bar right here that most people are quite terrified of it. So they don't want anything to do with this arm bar. So as soon as you end up, and the thing is, this leg's pretty strong as well. So if this arm's, so start bringing it in. If I can, boom, right there. Now, if you ask me, it's kind of a low percentage sub, but I can start threatening things. And the big thing is when this arm goes out, I'm just going to carry it back over right there. So how we get here, there's a lot of different things. I've been doing this move a lot knowing we're going to do the video. So earlier today when I was doing it to people, will you lock your hands up, just gable grip? The other way. Yeah, right there. So a lot of people are going right here. And on this gable grip, one trick to remember, guys, is peel one, so I can get in here and stuff, and I'm really not trying to break the grip. I'm trying to turn his wrist. So if I come in here and I get that wrist to turn, that grip becomes super weak. And once again, I do like trying to grab with this leg. Not that this leg's gonna do much, except I can now sneak over right there with it. Let's get that gable grip again. So you notice I did that one. Can you switch your grip? Same concept. I'm gonna start turning wrist. So now I'm gonna be digging under and turning wrist out. Same thing, as it comes out this direction, I'll be trying to snag this leg, and as it fails, boom, I'm gonna jump it there. I figure 4. If I can get this figure 4. Now on yours, when I was watching the video, I don't think you really did any finishing touches. It looked as if you got here and the guy tapped. Do you remember, did you lock things up and finish?
I raised my hips
right there,
like this, and then a little bit more towards here, putting pressure, basically using the lat as my fulcrum.
Got it. So finishing touches that I like you guys to focus on. So once this is locked in, figure 4, and we ab crunch over it. Boom, we're tight now. You notice everything is condensed in here. I'm gonna gable grip right here, and I like to focus on arm going that way, head going that way. So I've got the gable grip, and I'll go really slow, especially with my buddies, because that handle gets stuck in the mat, and sometimes all the pressure at once will go boom, all the way out. So real slowly with my buddies, I'm just gonna go out like that. Now, you were, what weight class were you in?
215.
215, these guys are buff. A lot of times, kind of like in that scenario in your match, you just get here, and guys are already tapping. But smaller guys, we're talking like 170 and under, pretty slender, especially females. We really gotta keep everything condensed, everything tight, and then extend. Lastly, as we're here, one of the big defenses is, can you bring your foot up and snag my head? A lot of guys are doing that kind of stuff. So, knowing that that foot can be coming out of nowhere, I really like to keep them at like a low profile to where I'm here. One thing we also didn't mention is this pant leg right here. And also I'm gonna be pressing that elbow, and I'll keep, if I start my grip here, I'll keep pressing and readjusting my grip higher. Just to kind of like as high up into the crotch as I can, so that I don't get spread out down here, give him windows. If I'm super tight, one of the last things I'm worried about is that leg coming up, so go ahead and kick my leg this time. I'm going to low profile, keep my head away, I'll even swat flies. Make sure it can't come through. Now you notice right here, this hand is just a hop skip from going there or being snagged up there. I bring both legs in to create a little confusion. Bottom leg goes over. Now everything's super tight right here. Gable grip, extend. And then you mentioned the stab choke. If you're trying to break things up and things aren't going well, that right there, I love it as a stab. I'm just gonna start pressing into his neck. That really starts to break grips up, starts to make him freak out a little bit, at which point I can start pressing and grabbing and getting into it. So a lot of people have some real pretty methods. I personally like to just start creating chaos. Create chaos and look for this arm to become isolated by itself. Awesome, Cade. Anything I missed or didn't mention that you wanted to point out in that move as well?
No, I think that last stab move, and then something that I emphasized a little bit earlier was a little closer. Something I emphasized a little bit earlier was making sure that lat is really pushing down, where their lungs can extend right on their sternum. Because, as I said, especially in the bigger divisions, they're going to have a little bit worse cardio than guys in the smaller divisions, and that's really going to be unpleasant for them. And so they're going to be doing everything they can, letting limbs go loose, as he ended up ultimately doing, to do anything they can to alleviate that pressure.
One more thing, if you listen to the audio of me coaching Cade, go back one more time, Cade.
Or you can roll them up. Yep. Now pull his head.
Basically what Cade's talking about with that lat, I was using the phrase, roll them up. And when you roll them up, if you kind of like lay back like this, but if you lay too much, you can lose it. So one way that I like to lay back and not lay too much is I come over his head. And if I see I've kind of got my other elbow, and now I'm going to scoot up even higher, and now I'm going to roll back like so. Sometimes you can get a sub, sometimes you can put enough pressure that they'll sub, but like I usually just kind of go here and listen to their breathing. If they're struggling, then I'm riding it and I'm putting pressure with my feet into his ribs. And right there I can hear Cade. But once again, it may not be a total sub. Creates a little bit of chaos. And I'm looking and waiting for this hand to come out. Threaten it here, but typically finish it there and out. Okay, anything else?
No,
anything else we left untouched?
No, it was great, thank you.
Okay, if you guys have any comments, things that we didn't put in, should have put in, things that you like to do, let me know. Questions about other moves, and we can do another, hopefully a little how-to on moves again another time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.